For me to use this. When you drop a brick on the floor, this is a little classroom tip, you need to say, Lego down, and throw your arms in the air. And when you pick it up, you say resume, and everyone else goes back to building. Okay? And the reason you want to do that in the classroom is because what happens is kids will get so involved in building, they'll drop a brick and they'll say, oh, I'll get it later, and they never get it, and then guess who steps on it? You do, right? So, and then you have to figure out what kid it goes in, which is even worse. And it's really bad for us because we have about 800 kids here, so we don't want to be trying to figure out which kid it goes in.
We need to get something that relates to the word
Tower. And that you can define yourself here. What is the word tower? How does the word tower relate to you? And once you have your tower, if you'll just put the extra pieces back in the bag so I know that you're ready, and Lego down, Lego person down for sure. Did you break the whole thing?
Resume? Yeah, well, that'd be alright.
You hear how quiet it is in this room? This is what your classroom will sound like. Just another minute or so put some finishing touches on your tower. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tell us about your tower, tell us who you are and where you teach, maybe your grade level, that kind of thing, just so for us to get some background on each other. All right, if we could, wherever you have done, that's what we have, and let's move to kind of share out. If you could, maybe put the lid down on your box so we can see everybody's, because some people's are hidden there. All right, so who would like to start?
I'll start.
Okay, Patrick, go ahead.
Okay, so I heard tower, and I figured, okay, well, of course I didn't. But we hadn't done this. We did not do this activity last time I was here. So I was thinking, well, everybody's going to think like a tower. So then I kind of tried to be outside the box, and I thought of just like a towering presence. And so this is like, I guess, I like the skull piece. It's one of my favorite pieces. So I used that, and I thought, well, that's kind of grim, so maybe they could think of something. But I was thinking, okay, well, that could be like fear, like, you know, towering, just just kind of towering over this person, and he's crying. So that's not.
Okay, and tell us,
And I am from, and some of y'all probably already know, from Randolph County Schools. That's my 3rd year there. Teach 5th grade, which is my 8th year teaching, all in 5th grade. And I'm really here today, and I've come before because I really love Legos, and the kids really love them. And I'm really trying to start a robotics program at my school. And so, and then I talked to Dr. Kessler last time, and she said this was a good starting point. So that's why I'm actually here today to try to learn more about this and get some money through a grant or something for the school.
very good. All right.
Okay, my name is Oscar. I'm with the Our Lady of Grace Catholic School in Hughes. We're actually trying to revive our Lego robotics program. So, and my partner who's been here, Tim Stewart. I don't know if you know him. Okay. Anyway, so this is my tower. It's a little disturbing because apparently the death guy inspired me to be pushing the other guy off with the broom. I was going to try to make a little pond when the little duck was at the bottom waiting for him to fall down, but so there you go. I'm sorry. Apologize for that.
And you teach what grade?
I'm sorry. Thank you. I teach middle school science, 6, 7, and 8.
So he's going to be looking for ways to use WeDo 2.0. Well, maybe as a starting point, but really in a higher grade. So, all right. You want me to get someone else and come back to you? Okay, we'll start back here.
I'm Ellen Bailey, and I teach kindergarten in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools, Shore Forest. And I'm from Randolph County, so I know where all the schools are these folks are teaching. My tower is kind of symboling the learning process. You kind of learn on your own for a while, and then you venture out, some more and get help from others. You don't have as much help from others, then you have to have help because you have more things to learn. It's more advanced. Then you keep growing, and you don't need as much support, and then you finally get there.
All right.
I don't know that mine's that creative. When I first
Everyone's creative.
when I first thought of tower, I wanted it to be as tall as possible.
Okay.
So that was my first goal. And then really my personality, I like things to be kind of in
Linear,
order. So I
okay.
wanted him to be I didn't like it when the pieces stuck out, so that's actually my backside. So,
You're going to be a little OCD about your kids, aren't you?
Yes, I will. And when the kids drop Legos on the floor, that would be a problem. So I'm glad that we have Lego down. But I am the curriculum coordinator at an elementary school in Forsyth County, and we're all three from Sherwood Forest Elementary. We're looking to start the program this year. So just kind of a starting point.
Fantastic. All right.
Hey, I'm Sarah Patton, and I teach 4th and 5th grade. Mine is, and I had these wheels that I wanted, but growing up, we had this big tower diving board that was really one of the most exciting things of our town. And so I remember the adventure and challenge of finally going off that diving board. And I'm thinking that that's what towers are, it's that challenge and you finally jump, and how exciting that is. And so I have a wheel, and that's where I feel like I'm going all the time to get to that next challenge and jump. That's where I am.
Very good.
Oh, I have nothing psychological attached to my tower.
That's
at all.
okay.
Because it's interesting. I found myself organizing my blocks and everything.
Okay.
I had to put them in stacks
Okay.
and just make sense of them the first time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Lego, I didn't grow up with Legos and all of that. So I think that's interesting because I had to just organize them and see how they work and can they connect this way, and because I just didn't know. I've
Okay.
not been a frequent flyer puncher card person. So that was just interesting, but I kind of got caught up in that. Like, what does this do? And that moves, and that's really cool. So I mean, just
Now, do you think you'll have children in your classroom who will be on that level?
Yes. And
So
so we
that-
don't give them time to do that.
Exactly. So that's that
So-
differentiation, that warming up, that opportunity to explore that you really
Need
do
to give
have
them-
to allow for. You can't just bring this box in and go and
Right.
do robotics. It ain't gonna work.
And just to build off what I came a few months ago and implemented a small thing of Legos, and it was really interesting because you said you had no experience with the first time we did it. I had a handful of 24 kids, about 6 or something, that are like really not into it. And like you could tell they were thinking, I'm not going to be into this. And after we did it a couple of times and they kind of explored and discovered things, they're the ones now that ask me, when are we going to do Legos again?
Right.
So it's just really interesting how when they get that familiar, I can't say the word.
Yeah.
When they get familiar with the pieces, like they're the ones that are actually like the more intriguing.
But how many times do we not give our kids the opportunity?
Yeah.
We just say, let's go. We only have 18 minutes to do it.
We're about to check on the line,
Right.
the worksheet, and hurry up, and let's move to the next thing. That's our education.
Yeah.
One session to do this.
Unfortunately.
Walk
Walk in a straight line,
Don't-
right,
don't talk.
with your hands
Thanks
over
for
the
it.
crowd, and don't say anything,
We're
right?
so guilty of it, but
Drill
that
sergeant.
really hit me in the face.
Well, very
Yeah,
good.
So,
All right,
yeah,
wonderful.
the tower was all right, but whatever. I am a former principal of a lot of years and then a district technology person, love technology, love ISTE and all that stuff, and have ended back up in the classroom. I'm crazy.
That's how I want to end my career too.
Yeah. I'm at the end of it, 3 years to go, and I told them, I didn't know if I could do it. I just didn't know if I
It's
could.
very different.
It
now.
is,
Yeah.
but it's given me a pep in my step again, and it's got me back on the floor with kids, crisscross applesauce, Lord have mercy, and I can do it. They taught me that I can do it. And
Very good.
It's humbling. I respect teachers now more than ever because I am one, and to relearn kids again and just to put on a lot of glasses and adopt a lot of different lenses. If I went back to the principalship, I'd be a lot better at it.
And I think that is a realization. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do here, because I don't ever want to lose sight of. I've been that administrator. I've been a curriculum person at central office. I've had a lot of different hats, but I never want to lose sight of the reason why I started that journey in the first place, and the people that I'm in charge of, so to speak. I need them to know that I'm on that journey with them, not up here and down here. And I think that's a real important thing that principals and people at central office really kind of need to understand. And they should go back and teach class all the
I
time.
agree.
And as a principal,
with some decision making.
as a principal, and a curriculum person in a school, I always taught a class once a week. I would have the teachers rotate through, and I would teach a kindergarten or a pre-K, and then I'd teach a first grade the next week and second grade. And when I got to fifth grade, I'd start over again. Because the teachers needed to see me modeling best practices, they needed to know I knew best practices, they needed to know that I still liked kids, and that I didn't move into that role because I hated teaching. I moved in that role because I thought I had some good ideas that could help some teachers. And that's really why I'm here in the university level. It's not because I didn't like the schools. I would go back tomorrow to teach, and in fact, I do teach a lot. But I think professional development and developing new teachers is kind of an area where I think that's my strength and that's my passion. And I think you should always follow your passion. You should not do it because it's a paycheck. All right, so we've warmed up. We've introduced ourselves.
I am.
Yeah, I forgot you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, I have to say that I felt very frustrated to
Okay.
make this. I didn't know how to use the pieces. And I just, like when I was doing this, I'm thinking, my students, when we assign something that maybe they don't know how to do it. So it's like, I consider myself very creative. And I didn't want, to see what I have done here, because I know that I can do something better. So I just can imagine that a kid can do something very nice, but we don't have, that time to, I think teachers, we are not mean at all, but we don't have the time to discover those, potential skills that the students have. So I feel very, very frustrated. And the only thing that I just perhaps by purpose was the flag of my country because I am from Colombia. So,
What part of Colombia?
Bogota,
I've
I'm from the
been-
capital city.
So I, 2 years ago, spent my time in Bogota, doing Santa, working with Santa, to train teachers there. And that was a very interesting, experience for me. And, I would have to say that was probably one of the most rewarding things that was able to do for me, to send me there to work with teachers, so that's great. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but basically it's that I just wanna try to, when I plan something, I always try to think when I was a kid and what I wanna see from my teachers. So I always think like a little kid. Oh, I wish I could, have this and that. So just I try to understand my kids much better. So. in
Now,
this
where are
case-
you teaching?
I'm teaching at Kirkman Park Elementary.
Kirkman Park?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm the Spanish
The
immersion.
Spanish immersion person. I sent a student over there to visit with the Spanish immersion side just last week because she needed to do some cultural hours, and I said, this is a perfect place for you. Yes. And Kirkman Park is right over here, and we've been involved with Kirkman Park quite a bit. We do a STEM day for them every year. My students go over, take over their school, and just do all kinds of things. And then I've done some teacher training over there with some of the products, and they usually try to send people to some of the trainings too. So, all right. So how are we feeling? Pretty good now. We're warmed up. We're ready to go. All right. So we're gonna through this process of WeDo 2.0, we're gonna be connecting to real world issues. So that's a primary thing: is connect to something that kids know about, something kids want to know about. You know, it's really important that you understand that you can't learn anything you don't want to know about. Right? Even as adults, we gotta know about that. So kids really want to know about things like earthquakes. They want to know how that happens, what happens with that. So we're going to talk about that. Constructing, the actual building process, the using of the kinesthetic, tactile, visual modalities, all brought together for the construction of the learning. And really, I would actually have to say that Lego products in general kind of fall in that constructivist theory, constructionism theory. The constructionist piece of it is more about building the knowledge from the constructivism of the experiences. So whatever prior experiences they bring to the table, that's how they're going to build. Ara was talking about her frustration. She was talking about her frustration. So the prior experience bringing it to the table with the brick was different than Patrick, who's been here, 3 times or whatever. So it is really about that. Contemplation. How can we change things to make them mean something different? If I walked over to your tower and I took this thing off of it, how does that change the meaning of what you're doing? Or what if I said, add an additional piece and tell me what you would add? Somebody said wheels, you would have added wheels, okay? So the contemplation, and then the continuing to see how we can synthesize all that learning and bring it to something new. So with WeDo 2.0, we start out with a little build called Milo. We add to that build, we add sensors and we look at how does it react with the touch sensor or the light sensor. Then we move into how does he react, well, she, he, whatever. How does the robot react when we pair him with another robot? Okay, so can they get along with one another? Can they work together? So that's kind of the process that we'll go through. I think that that's important to note. All right, so the WeDo 2.0, go ahead and open the box. The blue box. And really, I have you set up in partners, except for we have one, so you can join us, join a group, or work by yourself. If you want to work by yourself, certainly I have extra kits. I have plenty of them. You're welcome to build your own Milo. Make sure you don't get your pieces mixed in with these pieces. So go ahead and take your pieces, put them in your box so they don't get mixed up. Now, one thing I will say is on the back of this is your best friend right here. Okay? If you look at your tray, it mirrors the tray. Exactly. And it tells you which pieces go in which compartment. So if for kids are sorting kits, it's real important to do that.
I'm gonna grab that. You need it to finish.
Well, I got plenty of ones there. Anybody else want their own? I have plenty.
I guess I'll take one. Yeah.
You want one?
That way, you can do your own.
There you go. Anybody wants to experience their own, we have plenty. All right. So,
Hey, that's not right.
the other thing I would tell you is that the little numbers beside of each one of these little numbers, right? Tell you how many of those there should be in that particular box. Now, one of the things that we have created for other kits that we are working on for this kit are sorting sheets. They will make your life so much easier. Because what we do is we take these pieces and we take pictures of them and we put if there's 2 of these, there's actually 2 of them on the sheet and the kids lay the pieces on there. And when all the pieces are on there, they dump them in the thing. So we are working on that. I can't tell you when that's going to be ready, but we're working towards it. So the pieces you see on the bottom are normally the things that are underneath the tray. However, with this kit, I would say these pieces right here, particularly these smaller ones, I have put them in the bin with the other small pieces. They're not in the box because I tend to think we lose them if we do that. The wheels are down there. These big long black things are down there. These may or may not be in your kit. I'll tell you why because I've taken them out on purpose. The chains I've moved up top, and these are all your sensors and your battery pack and all that stuff. So, you also have an iPad because we are going to use the iPad program today. If you need help, so let me just kind of get an idea. How many people have iPads at school? Okay, you have iPads, I know. You have 2s though, so that might be an issue. You have.
I worry that most of ours are too.
Okay, so do you have Chromebooks?
Yes.
Okay. Chromebooks?
Yep.
Both? Both? Chromebooks, and you guys, I think, will be going to Chromebook. I think Guilford County is going to Chromebook at some point, I think. I'm not sure. I think, but I will not talk about that. It works fine with Chromebook. It's the same exact application you're going to see on the iPad today. Okay? So if you get back to your school and you have some issues with Chromebook, just give me a call. I can come out and help you get going with it. It's not that difficult. All right, so with the program, you get the pieces you see in the box. You get 3 foundations of learning processes. The first one is the project process. How do kids go through the process of building? So that's what we're going to experience first. Then we have project categories. We have 3 categories. We have get to know you activities. Don't ever skip those. Word to the wise. The second one is guided projects. Now, what do you think guided project means?
Well, you're modeling.
Yeah, you're modeling, you're helping. There are building directions, okay, built into the program. Then we have open projects. That means that they're going to give you a little bit of a build and then they're going to say, you take it from here, right? And there's a library of ideas they can pull from, but there are no building directions after a certain point. Those are extremely difficult. That's your 6th grade, that's your 5th grade, that's your upper level kids who've had some experience. So let's say you're going to put this in your school. I would say 2nd, 3rd grade might do the open-ended project, or not open-ended projects, the get-to-know-you projects. They become familiar with the coding. They know all about it, right? So when they then go to 4th and 5th grade, they don't really need to do all of that because they understand that part. They're ready to do the guided projects. 5th and 6th grade can do the open projects because they've flown through the process. If you're starting from scratch and you're going to put it kind of all over the place, then that's going to look a little different. Everybody's going to need to do the get-to-know-you projects. And then you're going to need to talk with each other about which projects you're going to do because you don't want to do earthquakes in 5th grade and then turn around and do earthquakes in 6th grade, right? So you'll want to kind of do some topic matching there. There are lots and lots of projects in here, so it's not like you're going to be left without something to do because there's lots to do. Then there's the project types and the curriculum value is Foundation 3. Really, it is designed around the engineering habits of mind, and it's designed around the engineering practices. So you will see those kind of distributed throughout, and I will show you where the teacher's manual is, and you can get to all of that. We did not print the teacher's manual this time. We have it on the iPad, download it to iBooks, and you can get it that way. If you want to print it, certainly print it, but it's easy to get to, so I don't know. I mean, we're becoming more and more less paper and more. So foundation one, every single one, you're gonna have 3 steps. We're gonna explore, we're gonna create, we're gonna share. So within this project, there is a sharing tool. It's called the documentation tool. So I'm gonna have you take some video, take some pictures, put it in your documentation tool, write about it. You can send it to yourself.